Hey everyone, how's it going? Side hustles, or as the Japanese call it, arubaito, refers to ways to make money outside of your primary, often 9 to 5 job. Side hustles equals side income equals multiple income streams equals less vulnerability to today's ever-changing economy, more muscle for survival, plus we can reach our financial goals faster, like buying a new house or car, or saving up so you can retire early. So today I thought I'll share my experience with 5 side hustle ideas I've tried personally, 4 of which has kind of worked out quite well to varying degrees, and one which has worked out to seem like a total scam, really. So you really need to know about that too. To make the sharing more useful for you, I'll rate each side hustle in terms of how easy it was to get started, how difficult it was for me to reach $500 per month, and how much effort it took to keep that $500 coming in over a long-term basis, or if even better, over time the hustle itself could be made scalable, so you can work the same and get more money, or you can earn the same amount with less effort. I'll rate on a 1 to 5 hearts basis, 1 heart being very difficult, did not love the experience at all, and 5 being very easy. I'm a big fan. So let's get to it. Side hustle number 1 is tutoring. These days it's split into 2 types. In-person tutoring, generally requiring more time and effort since you gotta factor in travel, but I find you generally get paid more. Versus online tutoring, where you tutor from the comfort of your bedroom in your PJs, but the hourly rate is generally less. Tutoring is basically leveraging of your existing current education and skills. I mean, at the very least, we all speak some language already, right? So it's mainly 2 things. 1, you gotta be proficient in the subject you're tutoring, whether it's a language or that science or physics stuff you studied in school for years that has no relevance in real life that you now finally have a use for. And 2, you gotta be pretty good at teaching people stuff, communicating, listening, explaining concepts, empathy, etc. etc. To start in-person tutoring, easiest way is usually to sign up with a tutoring agency which already has a ready roster of clients awaiting your tutelage. For online, there's a myriad of online tutoring portals, particularly for language tutoring. I tried out italki myself to teach English and Mandarin. The application process itself is straightforward enough. Fill in your details, provide your academic and teaching certs if you have any, and provide a video introducing yourself and somewhat proving your language proficiencies, as well as indirectly confirming that you're not a scary troll. So it wasn't difficult either way to get started, but with italki in particular, there's so many applications from people to become teachers that often people have reported it took multiple application attempts before they got accepted, and that was my experience as well. Which, I guess, in its own way, kind of speaks to how low the barrier to entry for this is. So, in terms of how easy it is to get started, I'm going to rate this as a 4 hearts from me. Generally, love it. Now, let's talk money. How hard is it to make $500 a month from this? And how long does it take before you get there? In-person tutoring has worked out really well for me in this respect. As a college student in Singapore, tutoring middle school students in subjects like math and science, I made between 35 to 50 US dollars per hour. So taking the lowest end of the scale, all it took for me to hit 500 US dollars a month was 3.5 hours of hustling a week. Although to be realistic, do factor in your travel times. When doing it internationally, things actually got even better. As a university student in Japan, I conducted interesting and fun English conversation lessons for my Japanese adults, and my going rate was about 80 US dollars an hour. I was also paid a similar hourly rate when teaching in Moscow when I lived there in 2021 with Vitaly. So to hit $500 per month, all it took was slightly over 6 hours of hustling in a month, plus real-life travel times. Pretty cool, yeah? Admittedly, my specific academic and professional credentials contributed to the relatively higher scale of pay as a tutor, but even in Singapore, surveys show that the average tutor hourly rate ranges from 20 to 70 Sing dollars, or 14 to 50 US dollars. So generally, 500 US dollars per month, easily achievable. Again, this is a 4 hearts for me. Online tutoring is a different story though. The average pay or teaching on italki appears to be at around 10 to 15 US dollars per hour. The low end of this scale would mean 50 hours of online tutoring a month to hit that $500. No mean feat when this is supposed to be something outside of a regular 40+ hour work week. So for online tutoring, I'm just gonna rate this as a 2 hearts. For both kinds of tutoring, how easy is it to regularly keep up that $500 per month? So long as you dedicate the time to it and do a decent job so students keep on returning, pretty easy, I would say. Unfortunately, I found that the only way this is scalable is becoming such an effective tutor that you start teaching group classes instead of one-to-one, which generally increases your hourly intake with the same amount of time input. So overall in this respect, I'll give it a 3.5 hearts. Side hustle number 2 is, ta-da, creating online content, such as starting a website on which you post articles, creating unique cooking recipes that you sell to cooking websites, and of course, making videos on YouTube, such as what you're watching right now. The big idea is that you offer some form of digital content that is of value to others and you make money either through the direct sale of such content, like the cooking recipes, or by selling ad space alongside the content, like on your website or during the video itself. How easy is it to start? 5 hearts for this. With YouTube, just sign in, a couple of clicks, and voila, there's your YouTube channel. Same thing goes for creating a website or writing a blog entry really. Super easy, almost no barriers to entry. The harder part is getting to the point where your content is generating you $500 a month consistently. So for YouTube videos, the amount you get paid is directly related to 2 things. First is the traffic you're receiving, which in turn is about how much traction your content is getting out there with the general internet audience at large. Second is how much you're getting paid per 1,000 views, or what YouTube calls RPM. The average RPM for most YouTube creators out there is apparently between $2 to $3, which was also what we were getting. Whilst the journey varies from creator to creator, in my case personally, Vitaly, my husband, and I uploaded our first video on this channel on 6th of March 2020. A really lame vlog about getting bubble tea that makes me laugh when I watch it now. And it took us 50 videos, an estimated 600 hours of time and effort, expended across 15 months, before we got monetized on YouTube in May 2021 and started receiving Google AdSense revenue. And even then, our first month of revenue fell far short of $500 at $357. So yeah, as far as side hustles go, this one's a real slow burner at the start, one hard without a doubt. If we had started doing YouTube for money, I don't think we would have made it this far down the line. But fortunately, we started the channel out of a combination of Vitaly's desire to do more video and photos and me wanting to share our life and adventures with our friends and family. So here we are today. Would I recommend this to others as a side hustle? I think that if you're doing this to make money without actually being interested in making content and videos, it's gonna be a real uphill task with no promise that you'll actually get to monetization. On the other hand, if making videos and sharing what you have to offer with the world is totally your jazz, and any income springing therefrom is completely an extra bonus, then you should totally go for this. And chances that you'll be happily remunerated for your efforts in the longer term will be much higher too. Now, in terms of maintenance and scalability, creating online content can be a real winner. So for us, with YouTube, our first month was not even $500. But our second month came in at $794. Our first 6 months brought in $6,171 overall, and we haven't really looked back since. With consistent effort, this is another one of those things that tend to compound with time, since each content you produce and put online will keep accumulating clicks and views over its lifetime, if it's good stuff. So then, even whilst you're off doing other stuff, they're still working to accumulate drips of income for you, which is really neat. So there is scalability in terms of income. A caveat to this, though, is that the income each month can vary quite significantly, and it's pretty much out of your direct control, since a large part of it boils down to the YouTube algorithm and how it spreads your content around out there. Would I do this as a livelihood? Personally, absolutely not, because I like stability, certainty, and security. But as far as indulging in a hobby that brings in bonus income or savings goes, this is awesome. Another advantage is that once you've actually built up a successful online platform like a YouTube channel or a blog, website, or podcast, stuff like sponsorships and affiliate marketing become additional potential avenues of income for you. Affiliate marketing is basically you referring some businesses, product, service, or promotion by sharing a link to it on your platform. If people purchase that via your link, you get a small commission. Sponsorships, that's you sharing about some product, service, or current promotion with your audience for a fee.
This episode has been brought to you by Squarespace.
You will want to be selective about being associated with companies, products, and services that are aligned with your own personal values, but at the same time, It's also kind of cool to be able to highlight positive experiences or attractive promotions with your regular audience, since they might benefit from them as well. Kind of a win-win scenario. So for maintenance and scalability, this one gets a 4.5 hearts from me. You still have to put in the work for the creation continually, but there's a fair bit of potential here to scale the income. Whilst we're talking side hustles, a different way to reach your financial goals can be through careful investment to get passive income, if you have excess money just lying around, you know. So here's an attractive promotion from today's video sponsor, Moomoo Singapore. Subscribe 100 Sing dollars into Moomoo Cash Plus and get 2 Sing dollars cashback daily for 30 days, adding up to 60 Sing dollars cashback total. All that is on top of all the welcome rewards of being a new Moomoo Singapore user, with cash coupons, free stock worth up to 150 Sing dollars and more. So with today's soaring prices, the money you have lying around is only going to shrink in value unless you make it work for you. If the present stock market ups and downs is too much for you, you can think about subscribing to Moomoo Cash Plus, so your money can earn returns per annum at up to approximately 2.5% and potentially more, since, you know, interest rates keep rising. Cash Plus has had no monthly negative return to date. Subscriptions and redemptions are quick and free, so if you need your cash, you get it back fast. Plus, if you're a Jay Chou fan, don't miss the chance this October to get free tickets to his concert in Singapore on December 18th. Curious? Check it out with the link below. Number 3 on my side hustle list is freelancing. Doing work and projects on an ad hoc basis using your existing skills and experience, often from your day job. There's entire corners of the internet that have sprung up to match freelancers with ad hoc jobs. You know, Fiverr, Upwork, they're just 2 examples. Photographers, writers, illustrators, graphic designers, etc. These days, almost every skill set work for freelancing, even legal services. For me, I've freelanced to provide legal and compliance services to companies and ad hoc projects of my years as a former corporate lawyer. I've also freelanced as a certified yoga instructor and personal trainer. How hard was it to get started? I'm gonna rate this as a 2 hearts. Not so straightforward, but only because of the skill sets I relied on for freelancing, especially my legal background. It's just not the category of skills where it's easy to get assignments off freelance websites, unlike stuff like web design or content creation. Especially here in Asia, society is generally still built more around traditional models of working for industries like legal, especially, so freelance opportunities generally number less than traditional employment. So it does take some digging around to get opportunities to work on projects or to be taken on by a company on an ad hoc basis. What I find really helped was leveraging off your existing contacts and networks, letting them know you're up for flexible work arrangements. So long as the word is out there and people like you and think that you do good work, it takes time, but it'll eventually work. I found the same goes for freelancing as a yoga instructor and personal trainer as well. You can have all the certificates, but the pivotal part is having good word of mouth and sufficient experience, both of which takes time to build up. As for how hard was it to keep up $500 a month side hustling, because legal skills are generally highly valued, each project I got to work on was worth several times that amount easily. But, and that's a big but, those projects were few and far between and occurring on a non-predictable, infrequent basis. So in terms of rating, I'm actually going to give this 1 heart because it's not a reliable or regular source of income. If we're talking yoga and personal training though, my hourly rates came in at around 35 to 57 US dollars per class, and with some dedicated hustling to get regular appointments from students, $500 per month was easy. In fact, I know many trainers and instructors who work solely freelance and who are good at their job, and they consistently pull in several thousands of dollars each month. So in these kind of industries, 4 hearts, 1 heart deducted for the effort that must be sunk in at the beginning to build experience, context, and the regular clientele. As for maintenance and scalability, unless you're doing the kind of freelance work where you can easily stack your clients, like teaching yoga to 8 students instead of 1, for example, generally, scalability is pretty much 0. What you get equals what you put in, although once you've established yourself, keeping it up is simply maintenance. So 2.5 hearts, I guess. Side hustle number 4 is renting out real estate. Hear me out, hear me out. There's a few creative ways to do this, even if you're not a landowner of rental properties. We're all occupying some amount of real estate. I mean, we're all living somewhere, right? So if there's a bit of spare space somewhere, whether it's a spare room in the house or a storage shed in the garden or even an unused corridor, like this very enterprising post here on Singapore's carousel, why not rent it out to someone who needs it? It might not necessarily be for occupancy, sometimes it's for storage, or perhaps even for a couple of hours as a location for video production shooting, like this other advert here. There's also real estate hacking, where you buy or rent accommodation that's more than what you need, and then you divvy it up and rent or sublease the extra space to others who will pay you monthly rental income. So yeah, for me, it was just renting out my home in Singapore once I'd moved away to a different country. But even if you're doing this creatively, it's basically about maximizing a resource you already have on hand. So to get started, I'll give this 3.5 hearts. It's easy peasy if, and that's a big if, you have some space to spare and you're okay to share that space with someone else or someone else's stuff. How hard is it to reach $500 a month? Well, it really varies depending on the valuation of extra space where you live right now. If you're in places like New York or Singapore, space usually always comes at a premium, so this one's really split down the middle. I'll give this just a 2.5 hearts. Maintenance and scalability? Well, it's completely unscalable, but it's also fairly minimal effort to just put your space up for rent and find a taker. So I'll say this is a 3.5 hearts. Lastly, side hustle number 5, doing online surveys. So there's all these online survey websites these days. You sign up, they send you surveys which you fill up. It can be anything from lifestyle to finances to consumer habits to current affairs, etc. And in exchange, you earn points that can be exchanged for money. I signed up for YouGov Singapore, so they got my profile from me and immediately started sending me surveys I was suitable for, so I could start hustling immediately. So getting started, ultra easy, open to everyone. This is a 5 hearts for sure. However, getting to $500 a month realistically, this is 0 hearts as far as I'm concerned. To start with, the payout threshold is 25 Sing dollars for 5,000 points from taking surveys. So most surveys seem to come in at about 50 points on average for a 2 to 5 minute thing, although some are higher, but basically it's going to take you hundreds of minutes worth of survey time to work your way up to $25. Definitely minimum pay stuff. And then there's the caveat that even if you were willing to sit at a computer and endlessly click away, it's not up to you. YouGov sends you surveys you're suitable for as and when they're available, so it's not really something you can sit down when you're available and just drive away at. That's already a 1 heart from me, but there's actually more. So in my case, since I have tons of time and curiosity, I thought I'll keep on doing these surveys occasionally as and when they drop into my inbox, because there's an option to donate to UNICEF once you've accumulated that 5,000 points to support a child out there, which I thought was quite a nice idea. Guess what? About a month and 6 surveys into YouGov, my account on YouGov just stopped allowing me to sign in completely. So the site prompts you to key in your registered email account, and then it claims it's going to send me an email with a code I need for login. But the email never arrives, and there's no option for support or resolution on the site I found that works. So all the points I've been accumulating for my kid out there, looks like it's poofed and gone. Which all seems kind of scammy to me, especially when I tried to start up a new account with a different email of mine, and everything for the new account signups just works so swimmingly well and timely. So yeah, big thumbs down for this one. Really lame. Don't waste your time here. Anyway, so that's my experience with the 5 side hustles above. What were your personal experiences with these? I'll be so curious to hear how they worked out for you. If you have other great side hustle ideas too, do share them below in the comments with the rest of us. I hope this was helpful and enjoyable. Like, subscribe, share, whatever. And I guess I'll catch you next Saturday. Bye. Have a good week in the meantime.